much more Mediterranean in your emotions. I think that you cry more easily. You have fun more easily. Your emotions, we say in English, you wear your emotions on your sleeve, where we can see them.
Well, this book is very much about women, I think. Loud women, sexually active women, women with big boobs, hairy arms, you know, the whole shebang. One could say that all these over 800 pages are something of a statement that men can be weak as well, dominated, even raped. Is that correct?
Well, it's a particular story. It's a story about a boy who is misled by his mother and sexually introduced to that experience by a much older woman, and who feels as a teenager and as a young man repeatedly vulnerable to relationships with older, stronger women.
But these women, these girls, they're bad girls.
Well, not all of them.
I felt like it was.
I don't feel that all of them are bad at all. I think that you're meant to feel that the character who becomes his best friend, Emma, she looks like a threat to him when we first meet her, but she becomes, in a way, his protector more than his best friend, the person who knows him best as well.
Well, you were 11 years old yourself when another girl seduced you. How has that changed you as a person?
Well, it had less of an effect on me than I made it have on Jack, for a very simple reason. I was very young when I had my first child. I was 23. I was still in university when my first son was born. And from the moment I became a father, I had a normal life. And what I knew first from that experience was that I didn't want my son to have the experience I had had as a child with this older woman.
So you told him to be careful.
Exactly.
Well, how did your male friends, for instance, during your life react when you told them what happened to you? What did they say?
Many of them sort of slyly implied that I was lucky. What a lucky thing for a young boy to be introduced to sex by an older woman. And in fact, when it happened, I was too young to know even what it was.
So as a man, you were supposed to be pleased.
That seemed to be the implication.
What does it tell us about the world, about men, women?
It seems that there's still a lot of failure to understand, because although at the time when I was 11, I didn't feel injured or abused. I wouldn't have used those words. I was very fond of this woman. I trusted her. I kept the secret she asked me to keep. But when I was older, when I was a teenager, old enough to be having sex on my own initiation, and I realized what it was she had done to me, the damage came later. It made me secretively attracted to other older women. And although I knew what the source of this feeling was, although I knew it came from that first experience with her, that didn't make me feel any less ashamed or embarrassed for having those feelings.
Well, in this book you go back decades in time. You write about things that disturbed you when you were a child and a teenager. Isn't that a bit masochistic?
Well, I think it's more than a bit masochistic. I think it's very masochistic. And yes, it's strange to write your most autobiographical novel when it's your 11th novel. To write about things that affected you as a child and a teenager when you're already in your late 50s, and I knew I would be in my 60s before this novel was finished. But I have always processed things from a distance. And so I might have written this book in my 20s or 30s, but it wouldn't have been the same novel.
Yes. Well, you're a busy man. Will you have any spare time here in Helsinki to do research, maybe for your next book?
If the weather maybe warms up just a little bit, I might be so bold as to have a sauna and jump in the ocean.
All right, so this is not
Friday.
warm enough for you.
Well, you know, it's the temperature of the ocean I'm worried about.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Julkisen sanan